here with all of you. Welcome to the Inspired Talk with Shri Manmohan Praharaj, IPS retired, former DGP Odisha. Rayacademy is a socially committed, mission-driven educational organization with its mission of producing 100 civil servants, inspire 100 in 5 years time period, aiming to develop a breed of new administrative leaders in Odisha who could act as a change agents for transforming our Odisha state in social, economic and public administration fronts. Rai Academy has been founded with a vision to make high quality professional education and training available at doorstep with the guidance and assistance of nationally acclaimed trainers and mentors who have achieved a benchmark in their fields by consistent success records. With a goal to extend the benefits of civil service exam training to pan India, we have a dedicated mission for our state, Odisha. In this pursuit, I am excited to share with you all that 41 students from Rai Academy have qualified for OCS Examination 2022. May I now take the privilege to welcome the chief guest, respected Sir Shri Manmohan Praharaj. Sir belongs to village Sudeshwarpur in Cuttack, Southern area. He had his education from Ranihat High School and Ravenshaw College, Cuttack, and Utkal University, Bani Vihar, Bhubaneswar. He passed MA in History from Utkal University in 1975 and joined the Indian Police Service in 1976. An officer of 1976 batch of the Indian Police Service, specializing in intelligence, security, urban policing, and personal management. Conceptualized and drafted the Odisha Urban Police Bill. Subsequently designed the Police Commissionerate at Cuttack and Bhubaneswar. More than a decade's experience in anti-extremist operations. Created the Special Intelligence Wing, the Special Operations Group, and the Security Wing in Odisha Police. Strategized anti-extremist measures. After joining as DGP Odisha in September 30, 2008, successfully handled communal disturbances in Khandamar. Managed law and order at a time of rapid industrialization of the state. Drafted the Odisha Industrial Security Force Bill, brought about several reforms in personnel management as one of the longest serving police jails of the state. Sir's area of interest include ethnicity-driven conflicts, handling insurgencies, human rights, and community policy. Involved in initiatives such as Right to Information (RTI), Justice for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes, women, and other deprived sections of the society. He had participated in several training programs, seminars, and workshops in India and abroad, including the US. He had been the chairman of Odisha Subordinate Staff Selection Commission from November 2012 till May 2014. He had also been a chairman of Odisha Administrative Tribunal for 4 years and 10 months. And now he is trying to help the local community, NGOs, and participating in debates and discussions of topical interest. Shri Praharaj had received many appreciations, commendations from the state government as well as the government of India. He is the recipient of the Police Medal for Meritorious Service, Governor's Police Medal, and President's Police Medal for Distinguished Services. He takes keen interest in professional police subjects such as police reforms, human rights, and group conflicts. He had received first prize in national level essay competition on the subject of human rights. Shri Praharaj takes interest in sporting activities like water polo and tennis. May I now welcome Shri Shankar Rai, founder of Rai Academy. He is an experienced, accomplished professional with a demonstrated history of working in the education industry. Envisioning towards progressive nation building, he has been a guiding light for many civil services aspirants. As a token of gratitude and respect, I would request Shri Shankar Rai to felicitate our guest.
Thank you, Mr.
Before we start our event, I would like to share with you that please silence your phone throughout the event. We have a dedicated question and answer round where you can ask your questions to Shri Manmohan. May I now invite Shri Shankar Rai to deliver the welcome address.
A very good evening to all of you, respected sir, my dear colleagues, students, and the students, those who are watching live. I'm very honored that sir is here with us. We were having a discussion about the civil services and related areas. Sir has been in the field of police service and in Odisha also one of the longest directors general of police. Not only that, Sir has been also a member of the expert committee in the UPSC interviews and has also guided many experts. When I was discussing with Sir and also at downstairs, we were also having conversation related to what better can we do for our state, for our students, for the aspirants from the Odisha. Uh, Sir's inputs have been tremendously beneficial, which I think personally would inculcate in our organization to make it more improvement and to make it more student friendly and for the growth of the organization as well as the state. Now, without any delay, I would humbly request, sir, kindly, please, sir, you can see it and you can address the students. And please feel free, this is an interaction. And if you have any kind of question, please discuss with sir. Sir is here to communicate with you personally and will be giving you inputs. Please, sir.
Start. Uh, Thank you, Mr. Rai. Thank you, Visakha, that lady. Colleagues, Mr. Rai, his colleagues, and all the trainees or the students who are undergoing their course here. First, I'll say that why I came here, how I came here. Now, up to my retirement, that is in 60, when I became 65 years of age, I was in various activities. We have a batch of 76 batch of IPS who we meet once in a year somewhere in India. Last year it was near Konark. And every month we had a get together. In that get together, one of our friends, one of the batchmates, he speaks about something which he has achieved or which is of interest to others. This time, a batchmate, a few days back only, his name is D.V. Guru Prasad. He is from Karnataka, Kada. He spoke because he has written a book called BSc Fail, IPS Pass. That book is in the Kindle. When you can find it out there. Then he has given an account of his life, how he was initially studying in science subjects up to BSc, in which he has no interest and failed in BSc, switched over to humanities and got into IPS twice, and his story he gave. While speaking with us in that group, he had written many books on travel logs. He has visited many places in India and written accounts of his visit abroad also. A cultural, physical, attractive points about his places of visit. Then he said that after doing all this, he felt that something he has to do more than writing mere books. So he thought, with his background, why not coach or why not motivate or why not inspire some of the students to get into civil services? And he said that he selected some people who are interested, and three, four of them has got into the civil services, which was giving a great satisfaction to him. So I thought myself, yeah, it's a good one. I mean, if one can achieve something like this, there can be, you know, that this is an area you cannot improve upon the satisfaction. This is the highest to which one can spiritually or something actualization, self-actualization one can achieve. Then thereafter, for some reason, somebody sent me a message in the LinkedIn site. Most of you might be members of LinkedIn. So I just rolled over. I found a message from Sri Rai of 2022 vintage. They said, "Sir, why don't you assist us or join us for a talk or something like that?" It was, my God, these two came so simultaneously. Then I imagine my career, the way I got into the service. It is something similar to gurus. And with this message, I immediately sent him a message. "Sorry, I am late, but I am willing to join you in this. Staying here, then I will come to my own life story and career." As you are told, of course, they spoke so many things about me. Thank them for that. I was studying MA in history in Vani Vihar in 75. And same year I wrote in the examination. And same year also our postgraduate examination was delayed and I appeared in this thing. I got in an interview and that year such good. Any examination I appeared, I was successful. But I was not that good a student before that. In MA I did extremely well. Now, before that, in pre-university, I secured a third division in science. First year degree, second division. Switch over to arts and even psychology with history and us. Slightly better than average. But then MA, just efflorescence. I did extremely well. Now, I was those days involved in from a lower middle class family. My father was a teacher, something like that. Uh, in our time, 73, that time if you see, during my student days, I was heavily into various political student organizations, sporting organizations. Examinations were not that high in my priorities and that kind of thing. But getting involved into student political activities, there would be so many debates with those who are having a different view. Say, for instance, I was Marxist ideology. I was very thorough on what is various features, and I was debating with those who do not have that ideology or minor variations of Marxist ideology, CPI and CPM, which is better, or SCCI. This kind of debates were continuously going on. So by the time I was studying in MA, in my house, my mother in particular, parents were very said that what this guy is going to do, I'm interested. Then some of my close relations were in various services. I had occasional debates with them. Say, for instance, my own uncle, who is an IAS officer, much senior to me, 7 years senior to me. First class first from political science in Uttar University. First class first in political science from Allahabad University. 11th in IAS, Odisha cadre. I thought that I know better than him in many political subjects. Then why I am securing low marks? That question you are coming. He was ADM Kandhamal, he took me there. He said that this is philosophy you are lecturing me on. This is not fetch you marks. Then what is going to fetch you marks? How to, because in examination in any subject, it is not how much you know, how much you write the exam paper, that gives you more mark. Isn't that this thing? So he told me techniques that how you can improve yourself as an examiner. But that doesn't mean that unless you have a base level knowledge, you can achieve that objective. I mean, unless you have if you are a total dunce, if you do not know subjects, can you achieve this? Answer is no. But these are highly competitive examinations. The civil services examinations are highly competitive. So you have to level up your knowledge to a certain degree. That is also absolutely essential, and be very thorough on technicalities. And finally, many people may think that if you have a will, if you have that fire in the belly that you can make it, you can make it. I can assure you, if you are careful, if you careful pursue it, then you have feeling that if anybody can do it, I can also do it. I mean, I am not less than anybody else. That feeling is also there. So this is why I came here. I told you this is my introduction. And because half an hour time is available with me there, thereafter we can discuss. I think if you permit me, occasionally you will speak in Oriya. I think most of us understand Oriya, I suppose. Then how are you going to prepare for civil service examinations? This is motivational as well as little bit of what techniques can be. First is prelim. There are two papers. There is one is general studies. What is this? One and general studies. Two. One is dealing with current affairs, history of India and its heritage, geography, constitution, economic and social developments or social situation in India, environment and ecology, and general papers of general interest, general knowledge. How are you preparing it? I do not know, but here is my two pennies. Your professors can do better than me. Many books are available in the market for general study. This is what I am telling you is that suppose making a preparation before 1 year or little before 1 year of the prelims. Are you getting a point? This is not a 15 days strategy or something like that. This is 1.5 years for you. Even next year. Suppose next year. Prelims are held in April, I suppose, or when May. That time you are preparing. How I would have done it that? There are many good books available in the market. The faculty can provide you to those groups. Find out the best among them and just cram it by heart. Are you getting a point? After then, there are newspapers, English newspapers. So yeah, of course, you can read at your leisure. Which is the newspaper you should read? I would recommend two of them because there are various newspapers in the market. One is either Times of India or the Hindustan Times. You ask me why? This question you put to me. Because large amount of information in comparison to, for instance, Indian Express, which is more critical and that sort of thing. Large amount of information comes out in Times of India. Suppose by that time you have already thorough. When I said cram means you also understand what you are talking about. Once you understand a GK, you are a basic this thing. You will be also interested. This I have read. What is there? Further, it has come out on this particular subject. So that way you continuously improve on your general knowledge. I hope you are getting me. This is way up. Then thereafter, continuously have a talk or answer questions. Mock questions are available in the market. What is coming on this prelim general studies? So what I hope is that all of you, if you try for 1 year, all of you will be in a position to clear the prelims examination. In my time, there are no prelims, but the year, that is my 6th year of my MA class, when I thought I am ready for this kind of examinations, every examination I appeared, all bank examinations, I was through. That means a certain level of, knowledge and fitness to prepare in these examinations is available. That also. Then this, I can go into details of how each one of these points has to be handled. This I tell you, but that will take too much time. This is broadly, this is how you handle general studies, general knowledge awareness questions. Firstly, if you have not yet done, good quality book your professors will tell you, get it by heart, then read a paper. Here there are certain, these are do's, there are certain don'ts also. I'll tell you why I am telling you. Don'ts are, please for that year, avoid as much you can see social media. Because what is happening is in social media, particularly the video, YouTube, social media, large amount of untruths and tendencies reporting is done. If you read them and appear in the UPSC interview, it will be to your detriment. Let me tell you, nobody will like it. Anyway, depends on whoever is the chairman and members. Say, for instance, when I was in the UPSC board, we had a member of UPSC, he became chairman for a while also, called Dr. Agarwal, right? Sometimes some of the examinees or the interviewees were saying things which you know that it appeared in social media, but they're absolute wrong. Then you will say, "You Wikipedia knowledge wala aa gayi," something like that, and it suddenly forms a very bad opinion. So I would say that again, concentrate on one book which your let me address them as professors. So, tell you which one is the best in the market these days. In our time, it was a Khanna, which was the best. I remember the knowledge book. Whichever is the best, get it by heart, so that its knowledge becomes your knowledge absolutely. Then read a paper, Times of India, and debate among yourself and write mock. This, if you do, if you say, I can assure you within 4 to 5 months, you are up to making it in this subject, in the prelims, all these subjects. There are certain other things, current affairs, history in India, ancient, modern, and contemporary, the medieval, modern, contemporary. I can recommend a book, but as I told you, my knowledge about these things is half a century old, which are the good books. Regarding these books, your professors are in a better position. What I will recommend is, in my time in political science and economics particularly, or history, I used to, I was advised that you read a smaller book written by a British author. You will ask me why these questions. We in India have limitations in writing English. If you go to England and meet with Englishmen and see how they write, you will realize they are much ahead of us. Further, many of you, as I pointed out, in our time, most of the persons, me included, were from the social sciences background. But now, large number of engineers and other technical people with technical background are coming up. Standard of English in Oriya schools have come down. Standard of Oriya school itself has come down. In our time, there are two papers of English. Now this is only one paper. Those days the teachers were absolutely gems, thorough. The best way I can find out to address this question is, get a GMAT book, Graduate Management Aptitude Test for the university. There the comprehension standards are very good, maybe as good as this. And I saw the GMAT books written by Western authors. Those who are native English speakers. The way they write and the way they write their questions are higher than what is available in our own this and that. You can advise them on in that GMAT system of things. What happens is that if certain comprehension, this is it, what will be the answer? If you do well, then they will raise it to the next higher level. We do not have such system. One para, then you write, everybody writes. There, in their mock examinations, suppose your comprehension is comes to up to 70 out of 100, then they will raise it to 80, 90. Then if you are going higher, then again, if you do not do well, they will reduce it. So I will recommend that a GMAT comprehension, whatever is there, it will be very good to prepare for it. Logical reasoning. Many books are available. I have my recommendations, but these books, these are on logic. Logic is a part of philosophy. When you argue out things. So then numerals, they should be easy for Odia students. The numerals, data interpretation. This again, it is a technical subject. So you have to get thorough in it. And general English grammar comprehension, writing correctly. Which are the mistakes your teachers can do well in this. So these are some of the inputs I thought is you can this thing upon. But most important of this thing is that how much practice you do. First, start within yourself. You should form a peer group. In my time, the year I appeared more for MA rather than for these examinations. I had a friend who joined who joined OAS. Uh, he used to always tell me, I used to not have that high opinion of him, but he had a high opinion about me. He used to always tell me that, yes, we can do this thing. You can do it. Why don't you try it? Like, work hard on this. So between body system, your friends, the first level of, examination assessment. Then come to your teachers. Finally is the examinations. I will expand on it. I just go forward. Then these are the papers in your prelims. If you make it into the prelims, and I will urge all of you and Mr. Rai also, each one of you should go through prelims. Don't tell that prelims will. I mean, everybody, unless you have that level of confidence, thereafter it becomes a little more, competitive. That I will say. Then, what are the next topics you have got? One is two language papers. Language papers are of +2 standard. Okay. If you have prepared the way I told you about developing your language and writing, these papers are not there. You have just to pass it. It is not counted for your competition and that kind of thing. You should be in a position to pass a little bit of practice. The Odia language or whatever regional language you have got and English, you can pass, I suppose. Then now I am coming to competitive subjects. One is essay. I'll give you my background in essay. In the year in which I appeared, I took some, briefs from those who have made successful how to do well in essays. There are various types of essays. Your teachers can tell you better. One is the descriptive type of essay, in which you are writing about an incident or an event. This is the background. This is the way it happened. This is the future. This is how it affected the future course of developments. This is a descriptive essay. Then there is another group of this thing called it is a reflective essay, which are most philosophical in nature and that kind of things. If you are lucky, which I was that year in which I appeared, in which you have a reflective essay, in which you are very familiar, if you can write it with a little bit of technique of writing with that, this is 3 hours or 2 hours, this essay is time.
3 hours.
How much time?
3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours, how many words you can write? Be very thorough on it. Your word limit will be not more than 11 to 1200 words. Are you getting my point or not? Then how to set it? How far is the introduction? How far is the description of the event? How far is the conclusion where it is heading to? Now, what a reflective issue, I will give you a little more example of my own case. As I told you earlier, I was involved with this Marxist activities and such other things. One of my friends who retired as a professor of English, he was a total Gandhian, believe in theism and all other stuff. I was more of a Marxist, that the religion is the opium of the people kind of thought I was involved in. So he and me, we used to debate this topic in front of my house. This debate went on for hours together. Our family said, what is this going on? Why are you talking? Then we said that we are not the first to debate this. Then we started studying logic. What is the fact in issue? What is a major premise? What is a minor premise? Who will win that point so that we will go to the next? So like that went on. So the essay came in my batch, if there were no gods, we must invent him. This is a Voltaire statement. I was so thorough in it by debating with this kind of people. And I knew the trick of setting the question. You start, you do this thing and conclusion where it went. And in conclusion, there, as I was told by those who instructed me, that any event, you give primacy to Indian thought. Are you getting a point? There I say, for instance, I started with God concept from the beginning, animism, this and that, what Voltaire said, what Nietzsche said, what Marx said, what this, all kinds of things. Then concluding, I wrote about the great thought of Vivekananda, of our Indian kind of thing. And I secured 121 out of 150 those days. So these are very high marks. But this can be achieved, this level of competence. One is, you should prepare how to write an essay. This much time is my introduction. Say, suppose if you have a 1200 words essay you are writing, just give yourself, for God's sake, 10 to 15 minutes in essay for correcting it. That I will commit a little later what to do. Or should I say it now? And then I will comment later when I discuss subjects. Then this, if you are lucky and if you get a good reflective essay in which between yourself you debate and you are very thorough in it, very high mark will come your way. Even otherwise, a descriptive essay, if you know the technique how to write it, well, let me tell you how these essays are to be, or even question answers in the humanities, social sciences, how they are to be addressed. Suppose in social sciences, they will have 5 to 6 questions. How many these days coming in a paper?
Uh, 15, 17, it varies.
Huh?
It varies. Comparatively, 15 numbers,
These are
17 numbers.
descriptive, you have to write down.
Descriptive.
15 or whatever.
Yes, 15, 17.
So that you can make out how much is the question, whatever it will be strength. In our time, it was 6 or 5 or 6 questions used to come. Suppose our entire examination is 3 hours, that is 180 minutes, right? So how much you can spare for each question? When you write the first question, you will obviously attempt the one which you know the best. So it is likely to expand a little. Suppose we have 6 questions. First question each are 30 marks each. So first question, it will become 37, 38 minutes, despite all your discipline. Then second will come down to 36 is the ideal, it will come down to 35. Last will be 30, something like that. Provide in each 2 minutes each, so that at the 10 minutes, you can revise it and make your grammatical question. This is very important, where after I am telling you, please remember, if you have descriptive questions. First, I told you, you start about 1 year. After 4 months, first you study as much you can. 4 months, don't go for writing, etc. After 4 months, you start writing. If you are taking papers like history, economics, sociology, social sciences, I can't talk about scientific or something. You have this many questions. First, you write, make a series of questions from seeing previous years question. What are likely? Your professors will help you. What are the likely, right? Then once you get the likely questions, prepare within that time at least one question. Start with one question. That within time I did one question. Then within 2 to 3 months, after getting 1 or 2 questions within time, you correct it yourself. You will find that in the initial phases, that you can improve your marks by correcting the sentences, the grammar, the construction of the sentences. 10 to 20% marks you can, 10% marks at least you can improve. Thereafter, you show it to a friend, correct each other's this thing. After, when you reach to the level of 3 to 4 questions within a time, then here are the professors. They will correct you and tell you exactly how you can further improve. More and more you write, more and more this fault and errors should not remain. Most important is how to write a social sciences question answer. First point is how this concept or this thing came into being, periodic, I mean the time. In time, how this concept came to be. Then that is your introduction, right? Then how it affected the general in that introduction. What was this thing? Then the description of whatever you have learned in this subject. First introduction to my mind is about 5 to 6 minutes, in a 30 minutes question mark. Then this one is about 12 to 15 minutes. And last is about 8 minutes introduction. What this concept and developments led to subsequently. Now, quoting various authorities. This author said that author said that. Don't do it. You, suppose a philosopher or a sociologist, quote the sociologist, not some book author. Are you getting my point? The quotation is from original, those who came into this kind of thing. This is the brief. This can be expanded, by writing, and your professors know better than me this kind of things. So this is regarding, I was basically talking about essay. Then there are 4 papers of general studies, isn't it? 4 papers of general studies is, again, you have to, what I can see, this general studies will take a lot of your time. In each of these cases, first is Indian heritage, history, etc. As I told you, I can recommend a book. I have in mind certain 1 or 2 books, but I will not do that. Your professors, those who are teaching you about Indian history and Heritage. I myself have MA in this subject only I have done. I have some recommendations that books which will help for a student appearing in this kind of things. But your professors know better because this is what I am telling you as I told you earlier. It's about half a century vintage. I mean now things have really developed and that kind of thing. Then is what is can be called as political science subject. Acha. Then in this we have got our constitution, government, polity, etc. These political science type of subjects. Please know the Indian constitution. I strongly recommend that these days, constitution people are holding and going about. I can clearly see that during next year or so, constitutional provisions will play a very key role in the mind of those who set the questions and all this. Please be well informed about Indian constitution, its various provisions, particularly with regard to democracy, with the social justice, with all these things, we should be thorough about. Constitution, polity, this thing. Now, again in this kind of topics, don't go over the board in criticizing government or criticizing the polity. Write a proper, what should I say, non-controversial kind of answer. I leave it to the professor to handle it, so that they know that yes, this boy has the knowledge, but is not a biased in one or the other direction. Then, then the third topic is what I find regarding economy, environment, security, and disaster. This is available in various books. Uh, with regard to economy and technical subject, you youngsters know better than most of us elderly persons, which various technology developments are taking place. Huh. One important thing in is that what is its relevance to India? We are developing pretty fast technology, this and that, but what is relevance to India? That those points have to be specially given importance to. Economy. Economy should be very thorough. India's economy, capitalist economy, market economy, which we are following, the roadblocks in market economy, how market economy for our judicial system, our administrative system should be thorough back a market economy, where the problem lies. In market economy, what are the problems of the deprived segments of the society, like our scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and many other deprived sections of the society? That sort of questions will come. Then, technical economy environment is a very important topic. In any interview board these days, the environment comes up. You should know very thoroughly the environment, the carbon emission, carbon limitations, which Western countries they have set for themselves, ours as well. All these things we should be thorough on. The questions can come from that. Then, then security and disaster management. This is my own professional subject. You will get to learn whatever security and disaster management. What are the security, security situations, security problems with regard to India. Disaster management, for instance, in Odisha, in OAS, this question is very frequently heard. This is raised. We have a massive flooding, which is a major problem in Odisha on one side, and on the other sides, our rivers are dry. If you go to Baitrani and other places, they are dry, Mahanadi even. Like we have this problem about, we have a dispute with various states. With Chhattisgarh, we are having Mahanadi River Tribunal and all that. With Andhra, they are building Polavaram, that is affecting us. Our own, these kind of topics for OAS, those who are Odisha specific, they are questioning very much these days. Then, finally, ethics, this thing, and aptitude. Well, normally I didn't recommend books, but here I will recommend one. If you want to study ethics, the famous philosopher Bertrand Russell has written a book, Human Society, Ethics and Politics. Please read that book thoroughly. What is ethics? You can be very thorough. And I never had an understanding of how we can define ethics, and particularly if you are a person in a particular administrative things. I mean, philosophically, what it is ethics, what is morality. These things are very much required. That book I strongly recommend by Bertrand grocery. Then there are many other books regarding aptitude. Aptitude, what I mean to say, what they look forward to is a positive attitude, right? So, what can be a positive attitude? So, main things is don't overdo things. Always say that how a given situation can be handled without condemning or totally badly projecting one side or other. That is what is the positive attitude. So I am reaching my half an hour. So now next is interview. Again briefly, I secured very high marks in interview. I secured 189 out of 200, which is very high marks in interview. So how it happened? That I don't know whether I should describe the interview. It is funny, but throughout the interview, they are laughing at me, and I am laughing at them. this is the way it happened. So I better describe my interview. I'm very small, I am telling you. I was one of the last to be interviewed that day. I entered the room. So, as I have been advised what to wear and all this, my looks, I'm a dark looking person. Something like this type of shirt and pant I'm wearing. I was a student those days, with open neck I enter. So, I was told that you need not wear a suit or anything because you are a student. Why should you wear a suit? I mean, normally like this you go. He said, but earlier, like many of you here, I can see, I used not to shave daily, to shave once in a while. So that day they told me that you should have a good shave and go to the board. I purchased a Gillette blade and tried to shave myself. I got a cut here. So I tried to make up by applying powder and cream so that it doesn't look. So I went there. With that, I went to board and we properly I sat down. And someone looked at me and this and that. He said that, why your name is Praharaj, what does it mean? One question. I said that I heard from some rumor in my house that one of my ancestors has become a king for 4 hours. So I said that. So they said, what is a prahar? One of us, Uriya accent was there those days. So a Bengali, one of the experts, he said, it's a prahar, it is a span of time for so much hours. He said, oh, your ancestor became king. They started laughing. I started laughing. And this is what happened. Like that, what has happened there? I told him, sir, I not used to say, but today to come to the board, I came for had a good save, and you see what happened. Then they were laughing, I was laughing. Like that, this interview board. And what I had done is earlier, I had gone there 2 days ahead and asked everybody who is coming out of the board that what questions were put to you. So I prepared a series of questions, about 100 questions. But asking them that what they asked to you and who asked what, and I compared it to my bio that which I have submitted to them at the time of interview. It is very important. Your interview preparation commences the day you fill up your form. Please note. Keep a copy of it. Don't throw it away like I had occasionally done. When you write down your application form, you write about what you have studied, what your interest, this and that. Many take it very casually. These days they are very serious about it. I was myself an interviewer. Earlier, people used to write all this and they used to get away with it. Now, they will ask you on those points. So, be the 2 points I want to tell you about. One is this. Another thing which has changed during from the time I appeared and this year is that now these days. So, that is very careful. So, comparing this with the questions they put, I could guess about 20 to 30% of subject questions which they put to me. People will say that if you do not know a thing, do not reply. This is the usual advice that is given to the trainee. Tell you, I just replied whatever I thought and what happened. Since I was a student of history, they asked me that what do you think of the Indian War of Independence? That is our 1987 mutiny of War of Independence, whatever you call it. I started giving a general description. It started from here, from it went up to Danapur, then Lucknow, then Kanpur, like that. They asked me, where is Jhansi? Then why Jhansi became famous? Then I told him Jhansi Rani, this, that, etc. Where is Jhansi? Which state it is? Jhansi, if you see India's map, UP has come out like this into MP, there is Jhansi. But it came out from my mouth that it is in MP. They said, no, it is not in MP. So, one of the members, to my good luck, said that it was, no, it was once upon a time, in northwestern province, not now. Then that made me clear that before British captured Punjab, I mean 1849, this UP and Agra were called the Northwestern province. I said, sorry, sir, it is UP. I said, now you are saying it is MP now. How did you say it is UP? Then I explained to him. Oh, the boy picks up very quickly. It all went in my favor. That answer. Similar other questions. Fortunately, they went all in my favor. I mean, whatever they asked me, acha. By the way, with some of my contacts, I had obtained as I told you, the UPSC chairman or UPSC's direction to the interviewers. There it was mentioned that those who having a village background that year, a Kotak was what, it's a village background and having problems with regard to language and such other things, they should be encouraged to come out with whatever knowledge they have got. So I planned my interview. So sometimes if you cannot speak English, it may appear to be a barrier. It's not so. Or at least that year, which I have given an interview that I could see that those who are from village are not very well conversant with English. It may not be now because most people are now English speaking. I mean, smartly they are talking English, TV, they are watching. So it went in my favor. Now, what I am telling you is that the gist of what I am telling you is that interviewers do not give you more marks because you impress them with your great knowledge. Please don't do it. They want to see if they are functional, decent boy or not, having a basic level of knowledge. Are you getting a point? I have seen in IAS interview, I had a colleague who was the principal of the Forest College or something. He was in the interview. One fellow started arguing with them about environment policy. And this fellow got very angry that no, the fellow should not be given. Anyway, moderated it. The chairman and others moderated it. Don't start an argument with anybody else. Then, because I can expand on this interview, recently I have seen what is happening. But basically, you have to project yourself, how to dress yourself, how to, I mean, I can tell you how to look at the chairman and others. All these are how to walk, how to sit down, what to do. These are specialized subjects of interview, and it requires a little. As I told you, I must have prepared. I went there 3 days ago. Find out questions what they are putting. You have to do that, or your agency should be in a position to help you in achieving all this. Who are the board members? What are they? You have to be absolutely thorough, but it is all achievable. If you have that, as I told you in the beginning, if you have the fire in your belly, I will achieve it. You will do it. Nobody can stop you. I am telling you, if you got it within you. So I come to an end of whatever I have to say. I was given 30 minutes. I think I will stay another 5 minutes. If you have any questions or anything you want to know, please let me know.
Please ask if you have any questions. ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ପଚାରି ପାରିବ
Please.
First of all, thank you कि ଆପଣ join କରିଛନ୍ତି ଆମ କ୍ଲାସରେ conversation ବୋଲି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଏଭଳି opportunity ଦଉଛନ୍ତି କି ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ଦର୍ଶକଙ୍କ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ interact କରିବା ସାର୍ ଆପଣ ତ exam related ସବୁ ଜାକ ଡାଉଟ୍ ଆମର କ୍ଲିୟର କରିଦେଲେ ପୁରା current affairs ଠୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିକି ethics science ସବୁ ଜାକ କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ସାର୍ ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ experience is a long job period ର ତ ଆପଣ କେମିତି personal life ଆଉ professional life ରେ ଗୋଟେ balance create କରୁଛନ୍ତି କାହିଁକିନା ଆମେ ଏଇ ପ୍ରିପାରେସନ ଲାଇଫରେ ଆସିବା ଠାରୁ ଆମ ମାନେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ରିଲେଟିଭ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଏବେଠୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେଣି କି ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜବ୍ ଯାଇବୁ ଏଇଭଳିଆ ସିଭିଲ ସର୍ଭିସ ଗୋଟେ ହାଇ ଲେଭେଲର ହାୟରାର୍କିର ଜବ୍ରେ ତ ଆମର ଏଇ କାମଟା ତୁ କରିଦେବୁ କି ଆମକୁ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଦେଇଦେବୁ ତ ସେମିତି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଏମିତି କିଛି ଲୋକ ଏମିତି ଆସିକି କହୁନଥିବେ କି ଆମକୁ ସାର୍ ଆପଣ ଏତେ ବଡ଼ ପୋଷ୍ଟରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ତ ଆମକୁ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ସାର୍ ଟିକେ କରିଦେବେ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମର ଟିକେ ପାସ୍ କରିଦେବେ ଏଇଭଳିଆ କିଛି
expectations society personally, I'll tell you what. You are asking me personal, mostly personal, professional. It is your personal. It depends on lot of your personal upbringing, your house, your manners which you have learned from your this thing and all that. More time I am that sort of person who was absolutely devoted to my job. For that I have suffered a lot. I have a handicapped son with after my retirement who stays with me. बहुत दिन पर्यंत मु घर फर कर पार नी 27 वर्ष काल मो चाकरी रिटायरमेंट पर आई वाज टोटली ओरिएंटेड टू जॉब्स मो जीवन सारा जोड़ा टॉप ऑफ द लाइन इफ यू सी माय कैरियर इंटरनेट टॉप ऑफ द लाइन जॉब रे जोड़ा आईपीएस प्रोवाइड कर मु रही आउ से जो थरे मु पसिले मते छाड़ी 4 वर्ष 5 वर्ष सब जॉब रे इंक्लूडिंग डीजीपी हैला एटा हला कथा आपण जो प्रश्न पचारले जे कोन करियो कि तुम कहि पारले जोटा हेई पारथिबो try to help somebody. I mean this is a general this thing आपण लोक माने हेल्प करिया चेष्टा करत बली मोर जहा को हेल्प करिया चेष्टा न करे आ जो माने हेल्प न करि पारी मु कोन करियो व्हाट कैन डू नथिंग अबाउट इट within also parameters you do whatever you can जॉब गुडा तो सब कहले तो हे जीवनी बहुत जिंस दरकार गवर्नमेंट सिस्टम ये सी सब जिंस कोन कहले हे परियो किंतु जदि क्या पड़े कि असुविधा अच्छी कौन अच्छी पुलिसमैन आई टेल यू फॉर लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग पुलिसमैन मु बहुत दिन है पुलिस नहीं मु 2012 रु रिटायर कर तापर मु कहि थिली जो सबऑर्डिनेट स्टाफ सिलेक्शन कमिशन ओडिशा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव लाइक 7-8 वर्ष से दैट्स हाउ किंतु मो अबसर हैव ए पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड ट्राई टू हेल्प एवरीबॉडी यू कैन हाउ अनदर थिंग इज वेरी इंपोर्टेंट प्लीज लेट मी टेल यू गोटे लेवल ऑफ आजिकली दरवा फरमा भल अच्छे आम बेले भारी खराब था असुविधा था नुआ चाकरी कला बेले 6 पे कमिशन पर suddenly it has increased and let me tell you I am now better off than when I was in service our pension body ki be savings अधिका better in service now I will tell you what you have to satisfy keep your family etc in order आम चाकरी वाकरी कर कहीं मु दिल्ली रे थिली 8-10 वर्ष से बहुत दिन मु रही पारथांती चाहिथिले सडनली माय ओ स्त्री जी एब्सोल्युटली ओडिया स्त्री लोग जण पूजा पाठ चली था जगन्नाथ तारिणी ये सब हैंडीकैप पिला अछि सो दिल्ली रे बहुत फैसिलिटीज आई फेल्ट ए सेंस ऑफ वल्नरेबिलिटी लागिला सेठी मु एठी पळी आसली ओडिसा पळी आसी ठी काम करी नाउ द पॉइंट इज वन थिंग वेरी इंपोर्टेंट इज डे 1 रु आपन चाकरी थिंक ऑफ अबाउट योर फ्यूचर रिटायरमेंट लिविंग मॉडरेट लाइव्स न करिया कथा जोडा को ड्रिंक्स कम कथा को अवॉइड ऑल दिस थिंग take care of your family children etc recently so that they are not harassed आपन पेरेंट्स जदि थिबे help you can do आजिकली जा हेलानी particularly I would advise everyone those who are trying to join a job in after you join your job आजिकली विभिन्न प्रकार सिस्टम बाहलानी फाइनेंशियल with probity you can do your financial management for your retirement for your difficult times and thereafter various schemes like mutual fund schemes retirement scheme बहुत अछि ताकू बुझा बुझी आपण करी करी लीड ए डिसेंट लाइफ आपण जो प्रॉब्लम कहले ट्राई टू हेल्प एवरीबॉडी अनलेस दोज हु आर आसी कहियो बाजे कथा जे कहियो ताकू कोन आपण हेल्प करि परिबे आपण मते कहिबे कोना जने मु रिटायरमेंट परी हेगाने बस 6 मास तळे जने लोक गा रे मो पाखरे मो गांडा कटक सदरी कटक पाखरे जने बाबू आसी मो पाखरे पहुंचे त आउ जने मते देखा कर कि अमुक गां रो नेबरिंग गां ना व्हाट काई तो मो पाख आछो ना मु छुट्टी रे पळै कि 2-4 मास जाई नै आपण टिके हमको कहि दियौ से आपण पारे काम करथिले मते टिके मो एटा रेगुलराइज करियो पता कल देखे मु ओटा डीजी पुलिस थिली तते मु चिन्हि नै तू किए कोन करी कोडी कोन आसी जे बडा कथा मते कहउछु त मते यू आर टेलिंग टेल समबडी नॉट पॉसिबल त बाटे जाओ बोली ये ला गोटा एग्जांपल मु डीजी पुलिस थला बडे वेरी सीनियर पर्सन चीफ इंजीनियर जहां रे कोन विजिलेंस केस करथला से चीफ इंजीनियर केम टू मी मते कहले साटी से विजिलेंस डीजी को कहि दे मु कहला विजिलेंस रे केई का किछि कहते ना आज्ञा समस्त कहि दो ना प्लीज लीव माय प्लेस आई डोंट वांट टू टॉक टू यू अबाउट दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग बाय द वे मो नारी किछि के मो एक्सप्लेनेशन के मो लाइफ रे की मागिनी वन शुड हैव प्रोबिटी विथ ए पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड किंतु आई हैव गॉन आउट ऑफ द वे टू हेल्प ए पीपल जने टीचर जे मो फादर को आडे जानिथिले मो फादर चाकरी सला दाम चिनिथिले से आसी कहले ताको झियो जण सारे पळै ताको नै जायछि ये पुलिस वाला कहि कि ताको नौ नांती से जाई कोन मध्य प्रदेश रे कोडु ताको आनु नांती से बड व्यस्त होतले सेथरे आ के इतले कहता त का कहि दिलो नहले नै आई वेंट आउट ऑफ माय वे ताको पठै करी ताको से दैट गर्ल कुड बी रिकवर्ड विथ गिव मी लॉट ऑफ सैटिस्फैक्शन संस्कृत टीचर न जो का रिकवर सम काइंड ऑफ हेल्प असिस्ट ए पर्सन एमती जा हे परियो ट्राई टू हेल्प अदर्स अच्छा देन अगेन don't think that you are a great man you are like any other sarkari chakriya anybody whoever thinks that I am a sarkari chakriya within those parameters you have probity and lead a decent life ହେଲା କାହା ଆଗରେ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କୁ ଇଏ କରିବା ସେ କରିବା then ସରକାରଙ୍କର policy you should be very careful about laws with regard to, for instance, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, women. As a policeman, I am telling you, I have been always କେତେ ଲୋକ ଇଆଡେ ସବୁ କଥା କହନ୍ତି, but I have been always ଯାହା rule ଅଛି I want to follow it. Have a decent life. What else one I can say? Life ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକ ଚାକିରି କରିକି ଇଏ କରିବା. Anyway, anything else regarding this process? अरे ଆପଣ interact ଆପଣ हाँ नमस्कार.
So thank you for all the valuable information which you have
Yes,
shared
yes,
with
yes,
us.
yes.
So
Thank
ଗୋଟେ
you.
doubt ଅଛି personal since ଆପଣ UPSC ର board members ଥିଲେ ଯେତିକି ପିଲା मेंस क्लियर କରନ୍ତି sir ଆଉ ଯୋଉମାନେ इंटरव्यू फेस କରନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରୁ କେତେ % स्टूडेंट फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट रे इंटरव्यू लेवल पर्यंत पहुंची थांती एंड सेकंड इज दैट आपण जेतेबेले तांको असेसमेंट करंती पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट रे आपण कोन माइंडसेट टा डिफरेंस देखंती जे फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट रे इंटरव्यू पर्यंत जायछंती ଆଉ ଯୋଉମାନେ 5th 6th अटेम्प्ट रे ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି କାହିଁକି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଏତେ पैटर्न ଲାଗିଲା
बस ମୁଁ କହୁଛି ମୋ ପାଖରେ ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକ୍ସ ନାହିଁ ଯେ କେତେ ପରସେଣ୍ଟ କିଏ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମରେ ପାଇଛି କିଏ ଇଏ ଟାଇମରେ ପାଇଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ବେଳେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ କରିଛି ସେଠି ମୁଁ ତ ଜାଣିପାରିନି କିନ୍ତୁ ଚେୟାରମ୍ୟାନ ଥାନ୍ତି ବୋର୍ଡର ଚେୟାରମ୍ୟାନ ସେ କହନ୍ତି ଆଗରୁ ଥରେ ଆସିଥିଲେ କି ଅଲଗା ସର୍ଭିସରେ ଥିଲେ ଏଥର ଆଇଏଏସ୍ ପାଇଁ ଆସିଛନ୍ତି ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଲାଇକ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଥିବ ଡେଟା we experts and members of the boards we didn't have that data ତାପରେ ଏଇ ଯୋଉ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନରେ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ରେସ୍ପଣ୍ଡ କରିବି ଏମିତି ଯେ ମୋ ବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପିୟର କରୁଥିଲି ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଭିତରେ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସଟା କ'ଣ ମୁଁ ଦେଖିଲି ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଉଛି ମୋ ବେଳେ ମୋଷ୍ଟ ପିପୁଲ ଆର୍ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ସୋସିଆଲ ସାଇନ୍ସେସ୍ ଆରେ ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝିଲେ ତ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଇଟ୍ ହାଜ୍ ବିନ୍ ସିଫ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଟୋଟାଲି ଇନ୍ ଦ ଡିରେକ୍ସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟର୍ସ ଅଦର professional subjects like management this that etc. Point number 1. Point number 2 to ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଚେୟାରମ୍ୟାନ କହୁଥିଲି ଯେ it is like this many of these people those who are coming for interview the age has been increased they have increased the age plus ତାଙ୍କର appearance ବି ଡେରି ହେଉଛି for instance ଆମ ବେଳେ ଥିଲା IPS ପାଇଁ 20 ରୁ 24 when I appeared in the interview I was only 21 ଆଚ୍ଛା ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି majority are 25 26 and some are as high as 30 ଜଣେ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତି ଆସିଲେ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ଦେବାକୁ ଆମ ଆଗରେ ଆଇଏଏସ୍ ରେ ମୋର ମନେ ପଡୁଛି ସେ ରହିଲେ ଏଠି କୋଉ କମ୍ପାନୀରେ ଆଇଟି କମ୍ପାନୀରେ 3-4 ବର୍ଷ କାମ କଲେ ଆମେରିକା ଯାଇ ସେଠି 2-3 ବର୍ଷ ରହିଲେ ତାପରେ ଫେରିକି ଆସିକି 2 ବର୍ଷ ବସିକି ସେମାନେ ଆପିୟର୍ଡ ଇନ୍ ଆଇଏଏସ୍ ଆଚ୍ଛା ୟାଙ୍କର ଆଟିଚ୍ୟୁଡ ଯୋଉଟା ଏଇ ମାନଙ୍କ ଆଟିଚ୍ୟୁଡ ଯୋଉମାନେ ବେଶୀ ଦିନ ରହିଲେ ୱିଥ୍ ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଆଜ୍ ଇଞ୍ଜିନିୟର୍ସ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଅଦର୍ସ କହୁଥିଲେ ୟାଙ୍କୁ ଯେ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଆଉ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ସର୍ଭିସ which is taken as a public service as a prestigious kind of assignment whereas in a private sector if you are in a कौन माने जो आईटी कंपनी की एनी अदर कंपनी फॉर दैट मैटर इट इज यू आर वर्किंग फॉर द कंपनीज प्रॉफिट am I making it very clear किंतु वर्तमान देयर इज ए जनरल फीलिंग अमंग पीपल दैट गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर मींस inefficiency bureaucracy thraldom not to work this is associated with government service so those who are in the private sector so sometimes they feel that we are morally superior to those who are working in government. That being so, but in government sector there is always a feeling of, or you are those who do not have, I can't defend them. You always have to have a feeling of empathy towards the particularly the destitutes, the indigents, the deprived sections of the society, the Dalits, the scheduled tribes. You should have an empathy for them. जो पिला मैंने मु कहली आछन फ्रॉम प्राइवेट सेक्टर इवन इन इंटरव्यू इट अपीयर्स दे आर डेस्टिट्यूट ऑफ एनी सच फीलिंग which was sometimes found to be wanting in them and they get less mark for that अपन मो कथाटा मु कोन कहली आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड बुझी पालो ना माने when you are applying for a government job you are supposed to have empathy for the large number of deprived people, the destitutes, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other poorer segments of poorer and deprived segments of the society. Those who are in the private sector, they do not have, they might have, but they do not have that much concern about such issues. Some of the interviewees during what you do or this and that, they these things came out that yes they do not have that feeling you have a superior social justice is a part of your general awareness or somewhere it is there. So that aspect should come out during the interview. That, like for instance, you are in an NGO, mo retirement ପରେ ମୁଁ ବହୁତ NGO କୁ help କରିଛି, କାହାର ବନ୍ୟା ହେଲା ବାତ୍ୟା ହେଲା ସେତେବେଳେ you are a person looking forward to such kind of activity. This is how I will respond to your question. The difference between जो माने रहिले बाहर बाहर बहुत पिला आछुंती ए भलिया, this is a जो माने प्राइवेट सेक्टर रो आछुंती कंपनी मान को इंटरव्यू रे, they find wanting in this particular area which has been noticed by the board sometimes that he babu तापर सेतले जे इंटरव्यू बोर्ड रे अगेन आई विल टेल यू व्हाट इंटरव्यू बोर्ड रे बसले जने जेएनयू रो प्रोफेसर जे पर चेयरमैन यूपीएससी हेले ताको जेएनयू हरिके आपण जानि थिबे कोन ताको माइंडसेट this kind of feelings are very high. I mean, I also agree with them. I mean, those who are in government jobs, they should not look into mere property or something petty benefits rather than the welfare of the masses at large. I can give you an example. Slum dwellers are there all around us in Bhubaneswar. Many of the people like us, they are very, rather, sorry for using strong words, contemptuous of them. Mane paisa donanti, electric jalchunti, ya korchunti, ta korchunti. This is the feeling. Biju Patnaik thare mate kon kahithile, I was DIG Vigilance, which is a part of GA department. Bhubaneswar je ye achanti amara jo Director of Estates Government Jami, he is also part of the Narendra Obuli, Director of Estates. Ame ekati bastulu Biju Patnaik time. प्रश्न किए पचार जो यहाँ हूँ 1992-93 मसीहा कथा केतेटा घर कौन है माड़ी बस तुम केतेटा भांगिल से एतटा नोटिस देसी एतटा भांगिली या कली ता कली से विजुटा पकड़ारी तू गरीब गुरुआ घर भांगी सारू तोर गोटे घर अच्छी कि ना से कहला हाँ सार मोर गोटे घर अच्छी से कौन तो बाबार जगह ना मुझे नहीं करती अरे या कैंसल कर जगह डोजर चढ़ा गरीब गुरुआ घर भांगला किए पचार आसेम्बली में बस दौची are you getting a point on that? I was DIG Raurkela. I had faced a situation, se plant wala कहले जते रास्ता कड़े अछंती एवडा सणाले मुसलमान ताको घरे पड़ी क्रिकेट मैच पाकिस्तान जीतिले हरा परच मुड़ी जाउची बाजे कथा गरीब लोक उडा गासी ये किसे करछंती गासा डोजर चढ़ी जणे मुसलमान लोक आम एरिया से खाली कोन सा मुके बंद कर जा कुछ करो इन you may disagree और आपण जदी कहबे जे समस्त एती मागणार इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नेबे समस्ते जी जो बाड़ी बस सोसाइटी डेभलप भी हो से एंगल था अच्छे आपण बुझी पारे तेणु यार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पॉलिटिशियंस एंड अदर टू थिंग बट when you work in government, particularly government like Odisha, you should have empathy for that man. आपण कथा से जो बिजू पटनायक कहलीटा एटा कोन तोर बाबार जगह थला मु अरे जगह उडा भर्ती थला मु चाकरी करी मत सुविधा मिलला मोटा घर कर से बिचारा तार गोटे छोट घर करी कोन से माने अछंती in a government job, you should have empathy for that sort of thing. And I say that in your answers, as well as in your interview boards, this should be reflected if you want to get good marks, if not anything else. I thought maybe take a basic strongly, I used this thing. But you understand what is the difference between a private sector and a government job and all this. Right? Anybody else?
Any more questions?
Again. Key motivated?
Self-motivated.
Self-motivated. Yes, I'll tell you, sit down. How to get self-motivated. It depends on a lot of factors. But ମୁଁ आपको कहली process how to prepare yourself. First you achieve one success. आपण देखिले एसेटा एथर मु सार मु देखैली मते सार देले धरन 100 रु एथर मते देले 30 मार्क हैला नेक्स्ट थर मु ताक चेष्टा करी 40 मार्क कली आपण केते खुशी लागियो आपण देखंतु ए जो सेल्फ मोटिवेशन इज ए फंक्शन ऑफ आउटराइट ग्रेजुअल इंप्रूवमेंट इन योर परफॉर्मेंस व्हिच यू योरसेल्फ कैन फील आपण मो कथा बुझी परतंती कि नै प्रथम रु आपण सेल्फ मोटिवेशन समस्त आपण कहार प्रॉब्लम नहीं से फॉर इंस्टेंस आई वाज इन अ डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन बट समहाउ मुझे एमएफए में पढ़ला बेले मत लागुला ये बाबू जदि कर पारि मोर कोन कमी अछि व्हाई आई कैन आल्सो डू एंड आउट डू दे माय चांस कम मो जो दिन चांस पे देखि मु की एमती गोटे फीलिंग हबो ए फीलिंग ता केमती हुए ता पूर्व मु 10th 11th क्लास रे पढ़ला बेले जन टीचर थिले से मत जो इंग्लिश कंप्रिहेंशन रे प्रति सप्ताह थर थर इंग्लिश मत से पढ़ाते भोकाबुलारी आ इंग्लिश कंप्रिहेंशन से मत टेस्ट करते मो फादर को जने फ्रेंड इंग्लिश से थिले टीचर से मत कही था से आम इंग्राजी किए 60% रु अधिका पाती मैट्रिक परीक्षा 62-64% होगा मैंने बहुत बेसी यू हैव स्कोर्ड मोर प्रथम 52-53% है ही वाज लिटिल टाइट ऑल्सो मार्क फार्क दोनों टिके भूल है मोर जब गोटाए परसेंट 2% बुड़ी 55 होगा मुझे खुशी होती डेउली आज मु आई हैव अचीव समथिंग है when I achieved 60% I knew that more hela chance athare mu ka ku doibi so it's a question of small achievements by you know छोटो रू आपण आरंभ कर एका दिन तो कि सब कर दबनी from your beginning of your preparation the small incremental achievements it will give you a lot of satisfaction try and see it टिके टिके आपण इंप्रूव करे केते खुशी लागे देखिए आ मु कोन कहि पारि बाकी कथा होची जे कथा होची पिला माने सब आजिकली दे आर यूज टू टीवी वाचिंग इंटरनेट रे चाहिमा 24 घंटा these are damaging they are as bad as drugs and other things सेगुड़ा सब हाईली हैबिट फॉर्मिंग नॉनसेंस आपण दिस जो बाहर जो से यूट्यूब रे गुडा प्रोग्राम जोड़ा मजा लागियो देखिबा लोक कथावार्ता आज सुर भाई कौन कहले काली से अमुक ये कौन कहले याको जदि आपण देखिबे प्लीज स्टॉप इट बाय ऑल मीन्स एटा को फास्ट करो ऐसे माने कोन की यू आर डिस्टर्ब द ट्रिवियलिटीज ऑफ नो कॉन्सिक्वेंस ना सर माने कोन बेटर कहि परियो मो पे आई मीन प्लीज स्टॉप इट एंड कंसंट्रेट ऑन सुनतो आजिकली लॉट ऑफ इनफॉरमेशन इज इन द मार्केट आम बेले एते नथिला कोटा मैगजीन कोटा पेपर वाजे बहुत कष्ट मिलुଥିଲା आजिकली टीवी सोशल मीडिया ऑल भर्ती एथरे नाना प्रकार खबर से कोटा होची कोटा गुड गुड माने यूजफुल इंफॉर्मेशन आपन मु आपन सेटा मूल डिस्क्राइब कली सर माने बेटर कहि परिबे आई टोल्ड यू दैट इट इज बेटर राइटिंग कैपेसिटी वर्ष पे कारण एठी राइटिंग कैपेसिटी हो ताकू देखंतु केतल टीवी भलो स्टेशन न्यूज़ फ्यूज देखिबे किंतु न्यूज़ पेपर टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया मु आपन आई रेकमेंड हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स तापरे टीवी रे मु कोनी भलो जोटा एक बार भलो होइतो दैट शुड बी somebody should tell you that this is what you should watch का गुडा ट्रास बात में तो खोलिले मोबाइल फोन के थरे देखि ताको समय नष्ट छडा ताकू छाडी मु जोटा आपन कहली आपन जेतो भलो टिके टिके हबो you can have a debate or something जो थरे आपन you are achieving something that gives you a lot of satisfaction there is nothing higher than that আজি मु एति के अचीव करछि बोली मोर सेटा रिकमेंडेशन I don't know how to do better than that in sala
ग्रेट
how ki achi thank you so much
सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आई थिंक सारंकर जहाँ मार्गदर्शन एवं विजडम शेयर करछंती प्लस निजर अनुभूति एवं जो छोट छोट जिनस कहले से आंसर राइटिंग रे एसे पेपर हैला इंटरव्यू एसीआर रे सेल्फ मोटिवेशन स्टेप बाय स्टेप इंप्रूवमेंट निश्चित रूपे हम समस्त बहुत ही बेनिफिटेड हम स्टूडेंट्स जो मैंने भी शुणुछ मु यही आशा करी जे सारंकर एडवाइस को स्ट्रांगली लिया एवं ताको केमिति निज जीवन रे हम इंप्लीमेंट करिबा ताको टिके आगु देखो एंड आल्सो सर रियली ग्रेटफुल दैट अपन आसीले सर सेति टाइम स्पेंड कर
Thank you so much.
इंटरेक्शन करले
I guess
I hope that students also they feel really motivated so मैंने ऑनलाइन रे भी देखु चले they will be really motivated thank you so much sir.
thank you wish you all the best may god be with you